do you want to achieve in business or life? Or are you already achieving it, but maybe you are struggling with fulfillment? Maybe you don't know what fulfills you and you have this direction, you are achieving and you are successful, but inside of you, you are not fulfilled. I have an answer for you, because for today's interview with me, I have a Michelle Porter, and she will be talking with us about her experience and how she found out her fulfillment. Hi, Michelle. Thank you very much for coming for my podcast. Can you tell us more about yourself? What is it you do? Where are you based? Anything you would like to share with my audience?
Okay, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. I'm thrilled to be here. So I am Michelle Mills Porter. I'm the only Michelle Mills Porter on the planet. Thank heavens, my husband says. So I'm based in a little village that sounds like a symptom of COVID. It's called Cofton Hackett, and it's right by the Lickey Hills in Bromsgrove, which is in Worcestershire in the UK, probably as central as you can get in the UK. So I'm an ex-CEO. I used to have a very disruptive and successful marketing company, but then I was caught in the Boxing Day tsunami. And that changed the trajectory of my life. It changed what I wanted to do. So now, 20 years later, I am living my life on its true purpose, and helping people to understand the magnificence that they have within them. And that's what I do.
Wow, perfect. Thank you very much for sharing. Yeah, there's so many things to go on now.
I'm also neurodiverse. So if I give you too much information or too many different angles, you just have to hold me down.
Yeah, it's okay. No problem at all. Perfect. Thank you very much for that. Let's start from the beginning. So you mentioned that you used to be a CEO of a marketing company, but after experience, which happened with tsunami, everything changed. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So I think beforehand, I was very focused. I was very driven. I thought, this is my lot in, this is what I'm meant to do in life. This marketing agency that was successful. I had a 5-year plan, an exit plan, a 3-year plan, a 2-hour plan. Plans, and everything was kind of set out, and targets were being hit, and awards were being won, and I thought, this is it, I'm winning. But what happened when the tsunami struck is that the whole world just stopped, and it's quite a bizarre thing, but it just felt like someone had stopped the spinning wheel, and I got off. And I had a chance to reflect. And so I know it sounds bizarre, and I don't think I've ever said this in any other podcast, actually, Vincent, but I actually felt relieved to have breathing space. Mm-hmm. And I can understand when people talk about the pandemic and they talk about how it changed their outlook on life and how they didn't want to go back to the way it was before. That's exactly what I went through in the tsunami. So although there was all this horrendous stuff going on around, actually day-to-day life stopped. I had chance to breathe and to think and to realize that the things that were important to me in my life were nothing to do with my business. It was nothing to do with whether we were hitting targets, whether our clients were getting the exposure they needed. I didn't care.
Yeah.
What I cared about was my nieces, my nephews, my mum and dad, my family, people that I loved, spending time with them. And silly things like playing Scrabble with mum and dad and arguing over the spelling of words. Those were the things that I missed. And I suddenly realized that what I thought was my life's purpose was just a farce.
Few things. Like, I can see there is many people who are there are a lot of people that are driven and they are working hard and they were working in that company, or even they have their own business, but they kind of like, this is it. This is the only thing they see, and they don't really look left or right. And for sure, if you're going to be focusing on that in your company or in your business, definitely you'll be successful. But is that the true purpose? Is that the life worth living? A lot of people, they left the people behind, right? And what you are saying in here, it's something like I hear that you had 2 hour plan and 5 years plan and all those plans, so you knew exactly where you are heading. But it's like when everything stops, like now recently COVID, before a tsunami, it's like you don't think about those clients, right? It's not it.
Exactly. And I think the realization for me was when we didn't know if we were going to make it out alive. We didn't know if we were going to get back in one piece. We didn't know if we were ever going to see our loved ones again. And only a week later, the longest week of my life, living out there, witnessing what I call the magnificence of humanity, realizing that everyone has got something beautiful to bring to the party. Everyone is motivated by something different. That collaboration is really easy when you are all in the same boat and you only have one goal, which is to survive. Collaboration is beautifully simple. So is our communication. We don't argue over our communication or the way we come across. We just get on with it. And it taught me so many lessons in that week that when I came back, I remember standing in my boardroom and the office was empty. And I stood there. I was looking in my trophy cabinet with all these awards. And I just saw the reflection of someone that I didn't recognize. And it was just a fame-hungry little girl that seemed lost. And I realized it was my reflection. And I just thought, what have you been doing? This doesn't fulfill you. And I suddenly realized that the things that fulfilled me were a very different set of experiences. And all I wanted to do was spend all of my time raising money for the charity we'd created, spending time with my family. That put fire in my belly, and I hadn't felt a fire like that in forever.
Like, it just reminded me one thing. What I'm a big follower of Tony Robbins, and he's sharing that often on his events, that we can all be achievers in what we do, and there is a science to that. He's saying there's a science. I mean, if you obviously follow those steps, you'll be successful in anything, and this is just a science. So there are steps, strategies. So a lot of people, they do it. But what you mentioned in here, he's calling it art of fulfillment. A lot of people are successful, but they don't have the art. They don't know how to deal with the art of fulfillment. And after they are maybe successful, but miserable and are not happy and not living their full potential. And let's just bring it a little bit closer, more like so people can see it. Like, can you describe us how would your normal day before that event look like, and how that changed when you came back, and how is your day maybe looking right now, how you live?
So my day used to be, I'd get up fairly early and I'd be in the office for about 8 a.m, 8:30 a.m. It was a beautiful office, converted barns. I had 14 staff, and we'd be working with lots of different clients, and we'd be, making appointments for them on a daily basis. We'd have really strong targets to hit. I'd do a full day of leading by example and, going out and seeing new clients. And then everyone would go home and I'd go through all the administration, and then I'd spend a couple of hours, doing some marketing or some prospecting. We'd probably end up in the pub on the way home, having a drink to relax, then come home and do it all again the following day. And it was that, but I was driven by things that I thought were fulfilling me. And like you said, it wasn't necessarily fulfilling me, but I didn't realize. I was so focused on this is what success is, this is what achieving is, that's what I was just designed to do. After the tsunami, I was spending my life recovering from injury and illness. And so it was literally survival. I was struck down with so many things that were wrong with me. I had fibromyalgia, post-traumatic stress, slip discs, cancer, adrenal exhaustion, a whole host of things that were wrong with me. So at one point, being able to get out of bed and make it down to the sofa to fall asleep again was the most that I could achieve. So all of a sudden, I'd gone from this place of achieve on a daily basis to actually just being able to get from one room to another was the most I could achieve in a day. And it was a massive shock to the system. It really was, and it took me a long time to recover and to get back on my feet. But I realized the only way back to that recovery, Vincent, was to align myself with the things that truly did fulfill me. Because that's what gave me energy. That's what gave me passion. That's what made me be in flow and helped me through all of that recovery. So now my day, I get up in the morning, my husband will get up and make me a coffee, and I'll sit in the bed with my cats, stroking my cats in the morning, and get up when I feel like it. I'll probably rock down to the office at about 9 a.m., have a few coffees, make a few phone calls, do a little bit of connection, maybe work on a talk that I'm doing, some stuff like that. Maybe I'll go out for a client meeting. And if I want to start mid-afternoon to do a painting, one of my hobbies, or, to go to the gym or go for a walk, I will. And then I just work when I want. If I want to do some creative work or some marketing work or something in the evening, then I do. If I want to sit down and binge watch something on Netflix, I do that as well. So, but the most important thing is now I have this balance that allows me to be more in flow. But every single day, I'm doing at least one thing to help one person's life to be better. So actually, the accomplishment that I'm achieving in one day now is 10 times what it used to be when I was running my company.
If somebody doesn't know what fulfills them and they are having only this achievement, and perhaps they would be, listening us and they'll be like, yeah, I need to stop and I need to think of that. How people would find out what fulfills them? Do you have any tools or any words which you could share which can help people to find this fulfillment?
I'm smiling because I don't know if you know this, but yes, I do.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do. So for me, that was one of the biggest burning questions. How can you find fulfillment? Why did it take me so long? Why did I have to crash and burn and be flat on my back before I could piece it back together and understand what fulfilled me? Why does it take an intelligent, successful person who thinks that she's on top of her career? Why does it take her more than a decade to find what fulfills her? So what I ended up doing when I found the answer, which took me forever, is I actually created an analysis. The analysis is called Essence, and what it does with a few simple questions that I've designed to get to your subconscious core driving forces is it shows you exactly which of your driving forces is the most important to you. If we can identify which one is the most important, then what I can also show you is all the kinds of things that are likely to stress you. Then I can show you all the things, and those are things that we say, these are the things that poke holes in your bucket. Then I can show you a list of all the things that motivate you. So all the things that keep your bucket topped up. So what took me nearly a decade to learn, I can now show someone in 10 minutes. They can do an analysis in 10 minutes and I can show them the evidence, the proof. These are the things that put fire in your belly. And if that's true, in order to be in alignment with those things that fulfill you, these are the things that you need to avoid doing, and these are the things that you need to surround yourself with. And so my highest core driving force is aesthetic, and aesthetic is all things that give me awe and wow in life, all the things that make me go, that's amazing. Things that are beautiful, things that make me think and contemplate the possibilities. That's what drives me. So the reason that I stop work halfway through the afternoon and go and paint a pot or a painting or something is because that's creating something beautiful that makes me go, wow. So I'm not wasting time. I'm filling my bucket. So I can come back and allow all the things that happen, that poke holes in my bucket, to happen, because I know that I can top it up whenever I want. Why? Because I now know what fulfills me. All the things in my life that can just give me 5 minutes to top that bucket back up. So that's one of the tools that I've created that I'm very I'm very proud that it changes people's lives.
How people can access that essence analysis with you? Is it online? Do they need to book a call with you? How does it work? Because I would like to try to do that as well.
Yeah, so you can either go to the website or you can find me on LinkedIn. The most important thing is that you identify what it is that you, or the reason that you want to find this. Why do you want to do it? Is it the fact that you need to find mental health balance? Is it that you feel that you've lost your way, that you might not think that you're on the right path? What's the reason for you wanting to do it? And then it literally takes you 7 minutes on average to fill out the analysis online. Now, those results can be sent directly to you, but if you want a practitioner to walk you through and to give you more hints and tips about how to apply it in your life, then that's something that obviously you can do through my organization. But if the reason that you want to do it is because you're having a relationship crisis, or if the reason is the fact that your team is not working collaboratively together, and you want to know, apart from yourself, you want to know about other people, what drives them, what motivates them, where are the similarities, where are the differences, that's a different thing. That requires us to do an analysis for a team of people or for a couple, and then we can show those analyses against each other, and we can show all the differences of why your bucket is being filled by something that is actually depleting someone else's energy, and vice versa. So we can use this tool to then understand how to build rapport with each other, how to understand each other, how to build bridges, and how to realize that our perceptions are individual. So it's a very powerful tool, not just for you, but for you to understand how to get on with other people.
I know about few people, they definitely could use it right away. There's some struggles there, and I know that it could really help them to feel like what fulfills them, because I see that they are really achieving things, but they're struggling somewhere else. And for myself, I was thinking to do it just to clarify if what I'm thinking about myself, if this is actually kind of going with that analysis, what I would fill up over there, and if I know those things what fulfills me, or maybe there are another things which I didn't explore yet, and maybe you can come up with some ideas for that as well. So yeah, so this is really good. Also, when you mentioned about the creative work, you said that you are painting, right? So all these paintings behind you, this is yours, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow, okay. You like blue.
I do like blue. This is my latest ADHD hobby. So I will pick up a new hobby. I will hyper focus and I will do it to death. I'll buy everything that needs doing and I will do it until 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And 3 months later, I'll change and try a completely new hobby.
That's great. That's great. I'm just looking at all those your canvas there, and I'm just having actually one in here from my daughter.
That's beautiful. It's a gorgeous rainbow. Rainbows are the most important thing to me. Look at the synergy. Rainbow.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really nice to see, because I grew up in the family where no art, no sport, logic, no art. And if I wanted to sing or something, no singing, no, you are not good, anything like that. And all my life it's like nothing kind of with this art side. And I would have a question for you before I'll tell you more. Is like, do you think, like, because you also mentioned the word balance, and do you think that it should be balanced? Like if somebody is really doing on one thing, it's good to take a break to do something completely different. Maybe even you don't know how to do it, but it's more like just creating that feeling of doing something which is artistic for you.
So balance is a word that I don't really get. Okay, so I need to explain this, Vincent. I am ADHD, I'm neurodiverse, and I was diagnosed with ADHD only a couple of years ago. But balance is something that I struggle with, because with ADHD, you do something excessively, obsessively, or not at all. So for me, consistency is a very difficult thing. I can't even consistently eat. So I very rarely have breakfast, and I usually eat when I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm a bit shaky, I haven't eaten anything all day, I need to eat something. So that consistency is not about, it's not about being disobedient. It's just that my head is off doing so many exciting things that I find it very difficult to balance anything. So for me, balance is a strange word. The reason that I say that our core driving forces are our buckets is because it's easier for me to understand that when one bucket is leaking and it's pouring water everywhere, I know I have to top it up. So it's not if you can balance, then and you're naturally good at balancing, that's great. But for those of us who aren't, being able to see which buckets are leaking allows you to be able to top them up without being aware of balance. So I don't know if I've answered that correctly, but for me it's always a reaction. It's too late. I had a full medical breakdown before I realized I had to stop. My whole body just shut down and said, no, we're not having this. So for me, balance is a very difficult thing to judge. So the Essence tool allows me to be able to top up those buckets, so it doesn't get into an urgent situation where suddenly I've got to do something drastic. So I suppose to a certain extent it does give me more balance in my life. But yeah, I'm not a very balanced person, Vincent.
When you are talking about this tool, the Essence assessment, if you find out what fulfills you and you already know those things, and some of the things maybe people know and some of the things will be perhaps new, but it's much easier to actually follow through with them when you know them, right? Rather than getting to that state where there is a total crash or total burnout, and after people don't know how to get back on their feet, especially if they don't know what would help them.
Yeah, and I think it's more about learning that you don't, if you have a bucket that's leaking, okay, so you're having something that is taking energy away from you, you don't have to solve that. It doesn't have to be connected. So I'll give you an example. The other day, I had an extremely important meeting, which I've been waiting for about 3 months. And this meeting was online, and we literally just started the meeting, and it was a game-changing meeting for me. And we literally got a couple of minutes into the meeting, and this guy had the BT engineer turn up at his door, and he told him that he was going to have to broadband was going to go down. And so this meeting was going to be cancelled. Now, my bucket, so one of my motivators is fairness. I like things to be fair and equal. This was not fair. I've been waiting for 3 months for this meeting, and it's not fair that this meeting had to be cancelled. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't the BT engineer's fault. It was nobody's fault, but this meeting was cancelled. That means I've got to wait another 3 months before I can have this meeting scheduled again. So no one can do anything about it, but this feeling of unfairness had really got me into a state. Now, I couldn't do anything about that situation. And quite often in life, we can't do anything about whatever it is that's giving us stress at the moment. So I decided that I needed to top up another bucket, okay, which was going to equal that out. And the bucket that I wanted to top up, my aesthetic bucket, is the one that gives me most joy and most fulfillment. So I literally got straight in the car, I chased the sunset, and I took loads of photos of things that were beautiful and awesome and gorgeous clouds. And I got home and I felt on top of the world. So filling up that bucket had nothing to do with the bucket that was leaking, but it still gave me that feeling of being empowered, of being, in awe, all the things that I wanted to feel that counteracted and outweighed the fact that I was massively stressed that the meeting had not gone ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if we know what helps us to feel good, so we should be able to do that. So, like you mentioned with the situation, I had so many situations like that in a business where something bad happened, and after, if I didn't know how to deal with my state, I could stay in that state for a week, sometimes a month, when something bad really happened. And from that state, I wasn't able to cope and do anything. And now I know what helps me to not be in that state. I can change it very quickly now. And it's really, I can really see the difference, because in life, in day-to-day life, it's really powerful. I just wanted to say one more thing about that art and what we were sharing in here. Because I've been told all the life that I cannot do it, but recently I bought myself a piano, and I'm like, I'm gonna start learning on piano, and it's difficult. I'm not gonna be lying, but I had those situations sometimes that I was tired. I was busy with the day doing things, either with kids or meetings, whatever it was. And I have my coaching sessions. They are sometimes 7 p.m., 8 p.m. when people are after work, or I have a time, they have time. And I was really exhausted. I was like, I don't feel like, having a coaching session. I'm like, shall I cancel it? But, it's not really good to be canceling sessions. But I'm like, okay, I need to feel good. I need to change my energy. So I just started to playing on that piano just to do things, which I still don't know much, but I was like doing something. And it really, this 10 minutes helped me to, that art, this thing helped me to feel better. And the session went great. I just wanted to share that because sometimes we don't know what we never tried, right?
It's a beautiful example. You're topping up the bucket that gives you energy, changes your state of mind, and it allows you to continue, which is, why breaking my working day with doing one painting or one vase or something just tops up my bucket enough for me to be able to have a whole new session of energy. And,
So for a lot of people, they might not know, but we have met through a PSA, Professional Speaking Association, and I'm a new member. Well, it'll be here in June or somewhere. I'm very happy. Please to be there, and I'm sharing that everywhere. But could you maybe share something with my audience? What is it about? If somebody would maybe want to come along, what they can learn, because obviously you are a member for a long time, which I understood.
I thought you'd been a member for ages. I feel like I've known you for ages, Vincent.
I just show up on the events, that's the difference.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I was a professional speaker back in 2002, 2003, way before the tsunami, because I spoke about marketing and other things, and people paid me to speak. But I didn't join the PSA until about 8 years ago. And because I never really understood why do I need to join the PSA? What's it about? And nobody had really kind of managed to give me enough information about it for me to be interested in joining. I was too busy. So let me explain. If you are a professional speaker, if you speak as part of your living, doesn't matter if you're a teacher, if you're a voiceover artist, if you're an influencer, if you're a trainer, whatever you do, if you use your voice to influence people or to help people, then the Professional Speaking Association is the association to belong to. Because it's a no-brainer for people that do that for a living to be able to join 600 other professionals in that field to learn about best practice, to learn and develop your speaking skills, to enter competitions, to have benefits that people outside of the association just can't get. To have that tribe of people that are on the same planet as you, that have the same experiences that you have, and be able to share that, it's incredible. It's an incredible place to be. All of my best friends now are in the PSA, and that's because most of my friends are made out of the people that are in the PSA. And if they're not, then my best friends end up joining the PSA anyway. And it's just the most beautiful tribe. It really is. It's very, very supportive, and yeah, it's a beautiful association.
Perfect. Thank you very much for sharing that. It's really nice. I have to say, just from my experience, not even a member for a year, I've done I've been to multiple events, done few showcases where you show how you speak, And it's really good because they are those professionals, they do it for years, they can tell you feedback. And you have a feedback from a professional speaker who's doing it for years, and this is feedback, it's for free. So it's like, where else would you go to learn and get the feedback from professional people like that? And it's so many valuable information which you can put into your speech and improve it. So yeah, I'm very happy to be a member, and I already took my friend and he's a member. He's coming with me for a summit and all the events which are happening. So exciting. Thank you very much for that. And I have a last question I would like to ask you for today. If somebody is, because we spoke today about the fulfillment, I know you have the essence analysis, which is online, but if someone is maybe achieving things, we discuss it, and it can be business, it can be life, it can be work, they are doing the things and they are happy, but they are not sure about if they are fulfilled or not, and maybe they are like, I don't want to do any analysis, I don't want to have my people details, and I don't want to share that. Is there anything what you would tell them what they can do right away, some tip which they can be like, just close the video and just go and try something right now which can help them with themselves?
I think it's about being truthful, okay? Being truthful with yourself, because I'm a very authentic person and I like to think that I'm very truthful. But actually, it was only when I was caught in the tsunami that I realized that I wasn't being truthful to myself. I thought that I was being fulfilled, but actually I wasn't. So here's a situation. Here's something you can do. Just imagine that you are in a life-threatening situation and you don't know whether you are going to make it home again. What are the most important things to you? What's the one thing that you wished you'd have done that you haven't done yet? That will give you the clue as to what your true core driving forces are. So it might be that, that there's something subconscious that hasn't been answered, that you haven't fulfilled yet, that you haven't achieved yet. It might be that you wish that you'd repaired a relationship. It might be that you wish you'd spent more time with your children. Whatever that wish is, that will give you a clue as to the subconscious core drivers. Put yourself in that situation. What if I'm never going to come home again? What's the one thing that I would do differently? What's the one thing I would change? And that will give you a clue as to, the priorities in your life.
Amazing. Yeah, I think it's a really nice exercise what people can start doing it right away, which is very good for people to have an actual thing where they can act on it right away. And that's really powerful. So people just need to get into the state, being in a life-threatening situation. Don't worry, you are not. So try it, and maybe you'll discover something, because when you are saying that being truthful, I think that's a big thing, because a lot of people, they don't want to admit, but they are lying to themselves because they don't want to look weak or ego or whatever it is.
Can I just explain one thing regarding that? For me, it wasn't the fact that I was trying to be someone I wasn't. It was because I had the wrong incentive. I wanted to be this award-winning, successful business owner because I wanted to prove everyone wrong. I wanted to prove my teachers wrong that told me that I was not intelligent because I didn't pass all my exams. I wanted to teach my ex-husband wrong, who said, who do you think you are? You can't start your own business. You don't know anything about business. Everyone that ever said that I couldn't do it, I wanted to prove them wrong. So everything I was doing was coming from a motivation of wanting to prove everyone wrong. That's not the same as fulfilling me. What fulfills me is helping other people, lifting them up, watching them grow, watching them fly. That's what fills my bucket. So understanding the motivation behind what makes you do something that's what will get you to the truth. It's not that any of us try and lie to ourselves.